All right. Well, anyway, let's get started. So, Andy, it's great to have you. Um, I'll let you introduce yourself. Maybe let's start with your Montessori story. How did you discover Montessori? Well, maybe let's start with you first. Where are you in the world?
Well, I'm right now. I'm actually in Phuket, sitting at the beach here at the moment because we are on a trip in, and traveling every day around a little bit because my son visited me here for 15 times, 15 years the first time. So I'm very happy to have him here. He's 19 years old now, and he was actually living here for 3 years before his mother took him to Germany. So,
Mm.
and then I had no chance to get him back. But I decided to stay here instead of
Yeah.
going back to Germany because as a father in Germany, you have simply no rights. It's probably the same in
How
Australia or
long?
anywhere else. So
Yeah. How long have you lived in Phuket?
19 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's-
Well, what brought you there? What's your Montessori story? How did you
well,
discover?
I started with Montessori in 1987. Um, Actually, it started before 1987 in 1985 when I got my first son, Benjamin, and the first divorce, and I had that I needed a way to how to get to see my son more often. And as I mentioned already, in Germany, it's like fighting against windmills as a father. The mothers have the custody, they are blocking the contact and so on. So I was very happy when then there was a hangout on the university. I was studying to be a teacher at this time. And the poster was saying, we're looking for somebody taking care for a children's room. There were three mothers. And so I said, well, okay. And it was in my hometown. I'll do it. The downside was then suddenly Chernobyl exploded. This was the same year and 1986. And so the whole parent initiative was turned to an anti-atomic initiative. And they had no interest anymore in doing education. And so, okay. So I was then going around and looking for room and then doing it all by myself because my interest was not anti-atomic. My interest was still the education of the children. And to Montessori, I came actually totally differently because in Stuttgart, where I'm my hometown, Gerlingen, is also the company called Bosch there. And also the head of the Waldorf school movement, more or less. We have a whole lot of Waldorf schools there. And I studied actually aerospace technology instead of, I wanted to be a teacher, but I was not good enough in school. So they had numerous classes on it. So I couldn't get to be a teacher. And then I turned to be very, very sick after 3 semesters studying aerospace technology. And I only studied it because my uncle was the chef of Dornier at this time, the big aerospace company. So it was simply a good opportunity to, my father was engineer, he was engineer. So come on, let's be an engineer to get around the army. And this worked actually. But it was, walking around with boxes and then having a look only in this direction in mathematics and so on was not really what I liked. And it was not working with people. And this is actually what I like. And so I was getting very sick. The doctors couldn't find out why. And then they said, okay, why don't you become a Waldorf teacher when you cannot get access to the standard teacher university? Why don't you be a Waldorf teacher? Because they have something like an external education, similar actually to the Montessori way, also external. And so I did everything there to get accepted as and then get the mentorship, and then started to want to be a sports teacher at this time. So I went to Heidenheim, and then the sports teacher says, "Okay, fine. You brought your wife. I was just freshly married at this time. Fine. And what is she doing?" And she said, "Yes, I want to be pastor, Protestant pastor." And you have to understand, in Stuttgart, it's it's in the south of Germany. It's very, very hard to be a pastor when you are not able to even convert your own family members. And at this time, I was actually Catholic, which only got dispensed from the Pope or what it is. You get a paper where it's written down that you not get out of the church when you marry a Protestant woman. And so he said, well, you know, when you be a Montessori, when you be a Waldorf teacher, you have to believe 150% in the Christian Lehre. It's called Christian Lehre with rebirth and all this stuff. And this is contradicting with a normal theology. And my wife probably would have problem to get on the list to get afterwards in the church community. And so we said, okay, give us 1 week and we think about it again, because I didn't want it to block my wife. And this was before the divorce, which came half a year later. Yeah, then 1.5 years later, sorry. And then I suddenly got accepted at the university. I applied directly at the university because I got my tip from my former classmate and said, come on, Andy, why don't you apply directly there? I made it already 2 years ago, but I was simply too stupid to simply do the same like her. Yeah, I was simply not so clever. And so, yeah. And then at this university, there was a education and psychology teacher, and she showed a lot of images. And what she showed was exactly what I actually wanted to have, or what was my idea of education. Kids sitting around there, working by themselves, did videos there, no teacher around. They were working by themselves. So I was asking her, what is this actually? And she said, then it's Montessori. I said, okay, good, fine. What is Montessori? Yeah, I had no idea, absolutely no idea at this time. Studying at a teacher university, I have never heard Montessori before. And then I figured out, as yeah, there's a kindergarten even then near my place, actually, was about 5 kilometers away. And yeah, I did not know about this. And then, yeah, so I was addicted more or less very soon. I say always you get infected with the Montessori virus very soon, and then you one time Montessori, always Montessori. It's directing your life, and when you really believe it that it's working. And so I studied then, and I figured out there is a Montessori diploma course in Reutlingen, which was only about 50 kilometers away. So I started there, and good thing is on this course, it can be done beside the university. It can be done beside job. It was only 1,500 D-Mark at this time. You probably can convert this into into Australian dollars, 1,500 Australian dollars, I think, perhaps a little bit more. I don't know. But comparison to what you have with the AMI, very, very cheap.
Yeah.
It was 0 to 12. We learned everything. We had to invest nearly every weekend. This was the downside. Nearly every holiday, because in the holiday they had then the practice parts where we actually, in Germany, you have different regions where they have holidays. So we had to move to another province, and then we were able to visit actually the schools which were still running while we had holiday. And so, yeah, I was traveling in a whole lot of schools in this time, even then to Belgium, the Netherlands, and to Luxembourg, and so on. And in Germany, of course, mostly then in Köln, Mönchengladbach, Düsseldorf area, Cologne. And yeah, and
what a bargain!
And this Montessori diploma
for 0 to 12
is the best. Yeah, 0 to 12. And this was simply the best thing I ever had. And when I look around now, what is going on right now, even in Germany, they're splitting it now up to an introduction course, and then 0 to 6 and 6 to 12, which is, in my opinion, completely stupid. Sorry to say this, because if you have no idea what is coming on in 6 to 12, you cannot prepare the kids actually for this. And this is very, very necessary as a kindergarten teacher, that you prepare the kids for the school, because not all kids are going to the Montessori school. Because if there is no Montessori school around, then they have to go to normal school, and they have to be somehow able to follow the normal school and with tests.
So
and
who ran that training?
The training was run by some school directors and teachers from North Rhine-Westphalia, which actually started this Montessori diploma course after the World War. You have to know that actually Montessori started more or less in the movement, started in Germany, in Berlin. Maria Montessori went, after she left Italy, she went actually to Berlin and opened up an initiative there with Clara Grunewald, which was Jewish. It was then afterwards a problem because Hitler came then up and he didn't like this. And so then she moved actually then to Amsterdam and opened up the AMI in Denmark. But the original first group was actually in Berlin. And and then this whole movement was more or less cut down. This was the Deutsche Montessori Vereinigung. It was the oldest Montessori association actually, which is existing. And then after the World War, the teacher says we have to do something like just happened with Hitler should not happen again. So they said if we now continue and educate our children in the same way, we only reproduce the same thing and we will have the same problems very, very soon again. And actually you see it right now in Russia with Putin and so on, you have the same problems again. So it's only a repetition of what was actually going on many, many years ago. And so they started they were all Catholics. So they started with the Catholic Church movement, Montessori movement, had somehow contact to Helena Helmich and some other professors which were in the first movement with Maria Montessori together and got trained by her. And so they got trained, they got infected by the Montessori virus like everyone in Germany who's doing this course. And they then started the Montessori Vereinigung Aachen. Yeah, so there were two Montessori Vereinigungen in Germany suddenly, the Deutsche Montessori Verband and the Deutsche Montessori Vereinigung. And they just reunited about 5 years ago. A long, long time, because they were somehow separated. And then the good thing was that Maria Montessori actually came and said, he verifies that this Montessori Vereinigung Aachen is allowed to do a Montessori course there as well. Wow. So we got a certificate, which is AMI, approved by Maria Montessori. And it's written down, and we have one passage which is completely missing, and I'm very happy about this because it's the biggest blocking factor in the whole Montessori movement, which is on all AMI diploma. Guess what? If you have an AMI,
you can't train other teachers.
Exactly. You are not allowed to train other teachers. And this is such a stupid thing. Yeah, because when I am not capable or I am not allowed to train other teachers, how can I multiply Montessori? It's simply not possible. Yeah, because you have to show how you are doing it. Parents get, wow, what is going on there? Can I do the same at home? Okay, get the parents there. Show them how to do this there. Get teachers there. And they then go to the school where the kids are and said, well, our kids were in kindergarten, they did this and this and this. Can you not do the same? Ask Andy or ask the teacher there or whatever. Yeah. But they then coming and then they're asking and then you are multiplying this quite fast.
Yeah.
But with this
but Andy, don't we have to safeguard quality by having teachers trained? Because Montessori was very clear that, and the research shows this too, that if Montessori is not done properly, then it doesn't work, right? So don't we have to safeguard quality by having only trainers who have gone through the trainers program train new teachers?
There is the very interesting thing. Those who were in the NAMTA talk, just when was it, 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, Montessori Lives, they only make a course which is 6 weeks. People get infected and they get interested. And they guarantee also the quality, of course. And I think that, if you get trained as a Montessori teacher, you have a quality which is there. And I just started here in Phuket with a friend. He asked me, "Can you help me to set up a kindergarten in Phuket?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. Yeah. Why you cannot do it by yourself?" "Yeah, well, I'm not trained, but I have an AMI trained Montessori teacher, but I have a problem." We said, "What problem do you have with this Montessori teacher?" "Well, she's locking herself up in the toilet." And so I said, "This is very strange. What's going on there?" So I went down there and I think and talked to the woman, and then I realized, well, she is very qualified, but she has no classroom management skill. She has no she had no experience. She had 1 month in a classroom, and forget it. With 1 month in a classroom, you cannot be a teacher.
Yeah.
You cannot learn it, no matter what you're teaching, no matter if it's Waldorf or Montessori or standard or whatever. But going 1 month into a school and getting wonderful you're teaching here. Best example, take all the ESL teachers here in Thailand. They do 200 hours online, and then they have 3 or 4 hours in a school, where then another one is sitting in the background and then saying, "Okay, good, fine, here you get your certificate." And then they get a job, and then they go in there now talk to all the students here and try to get them talking in English. Complete disaster. They say, "Good morning, teacher. How fine? I'm fine, thank you. And you?" And this is, "I'm fine, thank you. And you?" No matter where you go in Thailand, everywhere the same. So somebody taught this, and this is repeating itself, and they're changing half a year, half a year, half a year. And this is with the current Montessori training, pretty similar, to be honest. Because I met a lot of Montessori teachers. They are AMI trained or MSI trained or whatever trained. And what they're lacking is simply teaching experience. And if we want to do a very, very good multiplicator training, then we have to give them access to schools.
Yeah.
So this has to be more an apprenticeship rather than here take it and study it. And so the idea came up. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that it's really experience in the classroom that makes a good quality teacher.
Yes,
and
because
also a trainer.
I went to a whole lot of schools, and they were teaching all differently, completely differently. Yeah, there was not one Montessori method or introducing only one style. No, and actually you have to find out your own way, how you actually introduce this whole. And if you are standing behind this, then the kids are believing it. Then the parents are believing that. Then you can multiply it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you always say, "Oh, this is not Montessori, this is not Montessori," well.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
can I show?
Yeah.
Can I show your some of the images you
Yes.
sent me? You can talk about
yeah.
What you got up to after your training in Germany.
Yeah. So here, this is only the German letter where we wrote building up the children group. Yeah, and pretty simple actually. There was not much talking about Montessori because at this time I did not have my Montessori diploma. I was in process to getting it. But as I said, my motor was actually the missing son. And I saw the Montessori movie. You probably have seen it on YouTube. Una Vita de Bambini, also it's called.
Oh, it's a 2-part series, right?
Yeah, 2-part series.
But it's only available in Italian and Spanish.
Yes, but you can put on the subtitles, and you can put on subtitles and then automatic translation, and then read the subtitles. So that's what I do, and actually keep it in Italian. That's much better.
Yeah.
Because then you get all the energy and everything, and you will understand what she's talking when you're reading the subtitle. And the interesting thing is, when I watched this movie, I said, "Whoa, there is a huge parallel actually to my life," because I'm very sure that Maria Montessori would have, or actually we would not talk about Montessori if she would not have lost her son.
Yes.
Because this was her motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely her motor. I said, I want to do something there with children, and I want to show that I can do this with my children. And in this movie, it comes out so clearly when the son gets beaten, and she then it's cut there, and you see the scene from the Casa del Bambini, where then some authority people say he has stolen my money purse or whatever, and then Montessori intervenes and said, sorry, here. She knew that he had stolen it, yeah. But I said, this is not the way we can solve the problem. Yeah. And she did it her way. And so this was the success.
Yeah. And probably, yeah, I've had the same thought. Probably if she had not lost Mario, then she would have gotten really busy as a parent, and probably we wouldn't have the huge, you know, opus of work that she produced.
Yeah, very sure, very sure.
Yeah.
And
so tell us more about the letter that we're looking at.
Yeah, the letter actually tells you that we were building up diese Idee voll umzusetzen, we need your help, parents. If we want to do this kindergarten, we cannot do it alone, because in Germany, you usually don't build up a company, you build up a club. Yeah, you look for 7 people who have the same idea, and you build up a club. You go with these 7 people to the court, you register as a club, and then you're doing something. Then you're looking for a room and so on, and then it's moving. And then you apply it with a department for revenue department that you don't pay tax, and that's how it's working. This is me with my first son. You see, this was 1987. People look still like Back to the Future. When you look at this woman in the back, this was the time, yeah. So the son is called Benjamin. He's meanwhile 37 years old. Wow. And this is my favorite green trouser, yeah. This was, yeah. And they always with his green trouser. Later on in school, I had a red trouser. So yeah, the guy who's not combing his hair and has colored trousers, yeah. So this was me. And this was a market stand where we simply then, started to collect money, to collect materials, broken materials, which we then repaired and modified so that we can use them in a Montessori surrounding. And I had the initiative actually started very, very simple. We had one room, 8 to 8 meters, which I found in a school. And I asked the town if I can get it. They said, yeah, you can get it, but we don't need a kindergarten. I said, okay, good, fine. What do you need? They said, homework. I said, good, fine. Because in Germany, they have school in the morning and in the afternoon, nothing. So I started with 5 students, a homework room, and did this for 2-3 months. And then I went back to the town and said, okay, can I have the room also in the morning? And they said, yeah, well, in the morning, you're already using it in the afternoon. We see that it's working. So in the morning, you can use the room. What do you want to do? And I said, well, a kindergarten. Okay, but you're not qualified as a kindergartner. I said, okay, let me think about it. And the kindergarten law in Germany starts with 3 years. So my kindergarten started with 2 years. So I simply created something which was not existing in the law at this time, because 2 to 4 years. And they had a problem with this. And so, this was quite good. The parents I had, the room was filled up in 8 weeks. We were sitting there in the room, completely empty, 8 to 8 meters empty room. And we were only talking. And then we had the Waldorf fraction there. He said, oh, we want to do Waldorf. And then Montessori, we don't know what Montessori is, because in Stuttgart, Waldorf is big.
Yeah.
And I want to do Montessori. And I said, okay, Waldorf, some parts I will put in, like the Eurythmy parts and then so on, because this is really good. So there's also something what I really recommend. Don't see Montessori only. Yeah, this has to be open. Yeah, there are so many good things there. Print shop from Frenet and so on. You have to put it in. Yeah, Montessori, yes or no, it doesn't matter. But the main principle is Montessori. Yeah.
So you included aspects from Steiner in your kindergarten too?
Yeah. We had some eurythmy actually with music and doing kind of walking around and doing movements here, and talking poems and something like acting with the kids.
Wow,
Also
that's
expressing
shocking, Andy.
themselves.
That's heresy. You can't do that.
Definitely. Yeah, but this,
The Montessori outlaw.
yeah,
Listen, Andy, I'm sure that Montessori had eurythmy. I think that it's just, you know, that she had eurythmy and it's not there now. And as you know, everybody's like this, so they can't look out. But I'm sure Montessori herself had eurythmy in her classrooms.
very sure, because it was the time with Orff and all this. This was simply at the time where she was living.
Yeah.
Because school music was
Yeah.
just growing up, be a good subject. And what you see here, it was our classroom. You see school tables in there which are too big, because I started collecting out furnitures which I simply got for free in in places where they were thrown out, old chairs, and I repaired them with my parents, missing screw in another wood on there. Looked terrible at the beginning. The other chairs are from IKEA, the small ones. And we had plastic, as you see, the plastic hockers there, which is you have to have wood one. But sorry, we simply didn't have the money to buy this. You know, so we used the
So
plastic one.
Montessori for the people.
Yeah, and the carpets, as you see, the carpets were simply a big carpet which we cut in pieces. So it was not able actually to roll because they always folded up again. Yeah, it's nice to have, but we simply had no money, so we started simply from scratch, building our own materials. I traveled all over Germany. The puzzles, here this puzzle has no knobs, but there are puzzles where we then actually put in the knobs so that they can grab it with the 3 fingers.
Yeah.
In the background, there's one which has knobs already. And the girl with the blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, and the red trouser. This is a girl which is 6 years old already, but actually was on a state on a 2-year-old, and she was my wow my aha effect of Montessori. Actually, she was always there and watching and playing with the others one, and working with the other ones very intensively, rarely talking because she couldn't talk. And then after 2.5 years in the kindergarten, we went to the playground and she went up the slide and suddenly she was saying knee, which is very, very difficult to say actually with a KN, knee. But she said knee, and this was her first word she ever taught. Yeah. And her mother was happy, and it's very strange, but it was one proof that a child can develop no matter what time it takes to get to this point. But it will get there. But you need a whole lot of patience sometimes. So this is then later on I was invited to international talks. That's only one here. I had a lot of international conferences here in Montessori in Thailand. I came. Let's go shortly. Also, you keep this picture there, but I go shortly back a little bit. I was then finishing my second state exam, so I could not teach anymore in the kindergarten. And I have chosen a mother who took over the kindergarten. First, the parents had chosen a kindergartner who had no Montessori experience. And the kindergarten went from very, very good. We had a waiting list for over 100 children. Actually, the parents had to register the children before they planned to get one from the time. To nearly 0 people who wanted to come. And then after half a year, somebody really then, I was talking, and then I said, Elizabeth, we need your help. We need your help. You have to take over. You know, she was actually also a kindergarten teacher and she was always working alongside with me. And the special thing in my kindergarten was that I was the teacher which was there 5 days a week. And I had a parent, which was 2 days, and another one 3 days, which had each a group of 10 children. And I had 10 children, which came 5 days a week. And then we had another parent, which was daily switching. And this was our team. So this means during a week, we had to actually daily changing parents, two parents, which were changing 2 or 3 days. They were there for the week. And then me as the constant force. And fortunately, we had also one American woman, which came then, Kathleen Valenta. Her husband worked with Bosch, and she brought her kids to into our Montessori group, and she brought a big box of Montessori materials because she was a trained Montessori teacher too. And she came then also 2 days a week, but then actually replaced the 2 days for nearly 1 year or 1.5 years completely. So we had then also constant staff for 2 days a week, and then me 5 days a week. And this was perfect. Yeah, I learned a lot from Kathleen. She learned a lot from the parents. When I started, I had no idea about children's songs and so on. That's where all my parents actually teaching me. So when I do now here courses about how to educate a child or how to set up kindergarten, this is actually only thanks to my parents, which I had in this kindergarten. I had no idea about this at this time, but I simply did it. I simply started, and to start, I had the problem that I was afraid that my parents were running away when they're sitting longer in this empty room. And so I said, okay, I went to the neighborhood kindergarten, the only one in the secret area, and said, can I have your classroom? There are 2 classrooms, one of the classrooms for 1 day, evening actually, after school, and I will bring it back in the night and then reset it there. I took pictures black and white. I developed the pictures at home the day before so that I knew what has to be placed. And I went with I had a minivan to the kindergarten. I packed everything in. I went to my room, filled it up. And my parents came and they said, oh, wow. And like you have small children coming into a new Montessori room. They were so fascinated. They were going there and testing other materials and seeing what can you do with this here? And, oh, wow, this is interesting. And this is binomial. It looks like it. Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah. So the binomial cube, the trinomial cube, and so on. So this was so fascinating. And then the parents said, this is now all us. I said, no, not us, but we can have actually the same. And then actually this marketplace came then up. And then we collected the money, and then we organized by Bosch that they were playing a concert for us. So we made a lot of money, where we then were able to buy a material. And until this time, actually, I worked without charge. I worked for free over half a year in this kindergarten, simply to set it up. And parents were actually bringing me food in kindergarten, so that I had something to eat. It was nice. Yeah. And the same thing I'm actually still doing here right now in Phuket. I said, if you want to have me, provide me so that everything so that I don't have any costs, but I will work for free actually, but I want to have a place to stay, to sleep, and getting enough to eat. And if I go somewhere else, probably you can show me also some interesting places there. So then find the rest I will bring. And this works perfectly. Bad thing is bad business idea. You cannot leave it.
Yeah. Why Thailand? What brought you to Thailand in particular?
Well, I didn't want to stay in Germany anymore because it's very, very hard when I worked in a secondary Montessori school. And this Montessori school was a school where actually was a normal school. And they were promoting Montessori, but I was the only trained teacher in the whole Montessori school. And in all the 5 years, they never trained actually another one. And so I was not actually happy there. And when then my daughter was born, I was going in what is called a father time. So I was staying with my wife and then staying at home, taking care of my daughter.
Paternity leave.
Yeah, and so I was very happy about this, building up another familiar stuff actually in the area where we were building, but it's no more existing with the church community.
Yeah.
And and then in 2002, I said no. I will go out. 2001, my father jumped from a bridge, and so it was late 2003 he jumped from a bridge, and so I said no, I want to go out. This is I don't want to end like my father, helping a lot of people there, and then at the end, actually, when you get retired, and nobody's taking it, oh, we cannot disturb him anymore, and then no more visiting, and then the world breaks down and then things like it's happened, what happened to my father. I said, no, I don't want to end like this. I rather work like Montessori and then sit on a chair and then, okay, bye-bye. This is what I think is the better way. And so I have then applied for several jobs. I had a job in Canada, in Yellowknife, which is very north in Canada, 2,000 kilometers north Edmonton, behind this big lake, which is there. It's half a day light, a half a day, a half a year light, and half a year dark. Has summer temperature, very warm, 10 degrees, and winter temperatures not so cold, only minus 50 degrees. My wife was very happy. She was an ice skater, but me not really. And another job I had, but this was school director position. And another job was then in of St. Martin. St. Martin, you can work there as a German very easily. It's Dutch, so why not go there? They offered free car, free house, and so on and so on. So I said, well, fine. But we looked into the island, which is pretty small. You have a 40-kilometer round track and one road over the mountain. And yeah, that's it. And you probably not even need your whole gas filling because you see always the same. And to get off the island is so expensive because only people with a lot of money go to St. Martin, and they simply charge a whole lot of money. So St. Martin is a pretty expensive island, actually. And then there was another school. This was the school here in Rabbi Progressive School. There, the school director, they wrote me back and said, yeah, he was Dutch, Willem, and it was that you are not qualified as a teacher, but we want to have you as a school director. But this is such a crazy school because in Germany, you can only be a school director when you have years of experience as a teacher. And when somebody writes to you that you are not qualified as a teacher because your English is not good enough, and then they say they want to have you as a school director, that okay, what kind of school is it? So, but this was what made it so interesting actually for me, and it was by far the worst paid job. I earned 50,000 Thai baht at this time. This is today about 30,000 Thai baht. It's about 1,000 euro. And I don't know how much Australian dollars this is, but about 1,000 euro. And at this time. And so I took this job. I came here and we started with 80 students. And when I left, was 120 students. And then we have built up the school. This was perfect. They had 2 kindergarten groups, 2 primary and lower elementary, 2 upper elementary groups, and I even started a secondary school group. And this was just perfect. And then we had also conferences. So I represented the school, the UNESCO conference, or here with Gunilla at the Hong Kong conference. Then later on.
Oh, that's Angeline Miller. That's right. Yeah. So it is.
And then in Hong Kong in 2017. But at this time, I was already out of the Montessori school because I quit it just 2 days before the tsunami. Something happened which was pretty strange. I was sitting on the floor with my kids, actually celebrating Christmas. It was Christmas evening, 24th, and we wanted to unpack the thing, but something in myself was saying, Andy, you cannot celebrate Christmas. You have to do some other job, get out of the school. And I talked to Lisa, to my wife, and I said, you're crazy. You're completely crazy. We sold everything in Germany to come to Thailand, get all these vaccinations and everything what you need here to when you have never been to Asia, you do this. And yeah. But I went then down to the school and quitted my job. And 2 days later, the tsunami happened. And from this day on, I was very busy. I have to say, I helped a whole lot of schools, all the schools up to Paolak, and even in the Kuraburi, they know me till now. And so this is where I was helping then. And then we built up a Montessori school, a company. And because we had no legal entity anymore to stay in Thailand, because I quit it, so we had to build up a company, and the company wasn't doing web development. And so actually my my hobby was getting my job, and my job was getting my hobby. And I was earning my money then with web development. I did the UNESCO Bangkok website for till 2010, yeah, end of 2010. And then I was pretty busy actually with the web development. And the parallel to this, I did English courses, did Montessori training courses, did German courses, did all kind of other helping the schools to find other ways to teach their students. And yeah, you showed the picture of Next Gen U. This is it's my dream to actually find enough people which are willing to share all their materials, all their knowledge, be mentors. To say, wow, I can be a mentor for others. I can open up my school so that people can come to my school and visit it. This Next Gen U is actually doing the same with medicine, medical doctors. The medical doctors have the same problem like the Montessori organization or actually teaching profession. They have not enough people for the future. They're going rapidly down because the earnings are not good. In most countries, teachers earn very, very bad. Germany is a huge exception. Finland is number one. That's why they're so good, because they pay their teachers really, really good. But when you look even to UK or to USA, even worse, the teachers have to work in the holidays to survive. Yeah, not to do something, but really to survive. Here in Thailand, even worse. They earn about 15,000 to 25,000 Thai baht. And this is not enough actually to raise a family. And so
how does Next Gen U work to train?
Next Gen U is actually, they have built up courses and they're complete medical courses. When you look there, they have many medical courses there and nursing courses, and the people can use them for free. They can do all these courses for free. They get certificates for free. And when they then want to have a certificate which is certified, then they can go to university and let it certify. Means they make the exam at the university for the course. And of course, universities can take the whole materials and can integrate these courses into their university. And this makes building up courses for the university much cheaper, because they don't need to do research for the materials. They get updated regularly. And if we do the same for the Montessori course, well, you can multiply it. Then we can focus on translating all the content we have there, rather than building up Montessori sports, Montessori architecture, Montessori, what was it? There's so many Montessori whatever parts. It is a bit of nonsense in my opinion. Yeah, because it has not so much more to do actually with Montessori. Montessori had Montessori sports or Montessori architecture. This is Waldorf. Waldorf, they had them their houses with no angles and so on, yeah, but not in Montessori way. And but somehow in the movement right now, this gets promoted. Yeah, they're building up more and more departments for Montessori. Yeah, Montessori craziness, I would say. And we don't need that. Rather, they should simply make again a course which is really 0 to 12 to teach them properly through. And then focusing on this and training the teachers there so that they are flexible. We had people now for the kindergarten applying, they were 0 to 3 certified. And then they said, well, yeah, I would come there teaching 0 to 3. I said, well, we don't need 0 to 3. We need somebody who can replace this 3 to 6. Oh, sorry, I have never done this before. I have no idea. Yeah. And then we had 3 to 6 before, actually it was the opposite, where we needed actually 1 to 0 to 3. And then they said, oh, we don't have. We have never done this. Said, how can you know actually 3 to 6 when you have not 0 to 3? Yeah. Because if you read,
how is NetGen U Uni funded? And how, if you're trying to set up something similar for Montessori training, how would you propose that that's funded as well?
So Erica Frank has millions of funds from the WHO, from world organizations. Also, I recommend looking there and looking who is actually funding this whole thing. This is a huge fund which is behind there. And Erika Frank, her parents were actually involved in Montessori too. And I talked with her a long, long time about Montessori, and that I was doing lifestyle medicine with her in the course. And lifestyle medicine has the problem that they are teaching frontal teaching, more or less. Yeah, and I said, well, you have this subject which you can teach actually in a Montessori way, because there's a lot of practical stuff there where actually the people you teach you could do. And it's about dementia, about elderly people. And now we have Montessori and dementia. And that, why don't you combine this whole thing and teach Montessori in lifestyle medicine? And so we came then, you're doing Montessori. I said, yeah, I'm actually a Montessori teacher and also a real teacher. And I said, yeah, my parents were also involved. And so, and then she said she would be very, very happy to have courses, also Montessori courses, teaching courses in Next Gen U, where we then can multiply and spread the same idea all around the world. The good thing on Next Gen U is that you have one-time content there. And this content is all around the world the same. Now, there is one Australian, and I'm pretty sure you know him, Gavin McCormick. Yeah, I think the Montessori representative or something like this for Australia. I read.
Yeah, he's our ambassador for Montessori Australia. Yes.
Yeah, and this is really he's doing upschool.
Yeah.
Have a look to upschool. Yeah, and this is the future of Montessori. Sorry to say this, but this is where we have to go. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. No more depending on age groups. No more depending on classrooms actually at all. Not even depending on teachers, but on people which are able to motivate the students to do something else, to go out to nature, to discover things outside there. Because when you look today to the youth here, I have a foster child, the grandson from my deceased wife, who's living with me, and he's only glued to his smartphone. Yeah, and I wished he would simply put away the smartphone, but it's terrible. Yeah, honestly, it's really the biggest challenge I have there. And now my son just came, and he said, well, when he was 12, he was not allowed to even use his smartphone, and I should be more strong and so on. I said, well, I'm not trying to do this, but it's impossible with Taiwan. Yeah, so I have my problems with it. And when I look around here in Thailand, it's smartphone addicted, whole Thailand. Yeah, the teachers, you go to the schools, in the morning, they have their smartphones there. The kids have their smartphones there, and they don't have the experience there. They don't know how a leaf feels, how it smells, how it looks like. What happens with the bang? Just somebody jumps down the stairs here. Yeah, you cannot get all this experience on a two-dimensional screen on a smartphone. It's simply not possible.
Yeah,
and they're not going out in nature anymore. And we have to change that. And
so
I think
you think we have to take Montessori online in order to motivate students to get off their phones and out into nature and to do experiential activities? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, when you look to upschool, Gavin has built nice materials there. Unfortunately, a lot of writing mistakes in there, but we will correct this. And I'm just wrote him and said, I would like to translate this into Thai language. This is the other problem from upschool. It's only in English. And when you want to spread it around, you have to translate it to other languages. The same problem is with Montessori. Montessori is a lot of books in German. And have a lot of books in Italian, of course, and then in English. And that's it. And then it's getting difficult. And so I have now built up a place, mariamontessori.education. The .education is a domain, mariamontessori.education. And the idea is simply to build up a place where people can go and read books and actually also find the books which are freely available. meanwhile.
Mm.
You can read the books on archive.org. So I would say 50% of the Montessori books you can read for free.
Yeah.
And they are available as PDF and as a text file. And the text file can be translated with Google Translate. It's not a good translation, but it helps. And if we then can find people which are willing to sit, okay, come on, I sit down there and I translate it into my mother tongue and take the Google translation as the base, then I have other people coming in there and said, okay, probably we should rewrite this in this and this or this and this so that it's actually at the end.
Editing it.
Something like a crowd working ethic.
With your model, with your NetGen U model of training, how would you propose to safeguard the quality of the teachers who are trained that way?
Well, I would well, we have videos. This is one thing. Yeah, because what we need is a lot of places actually where people can visit. We need places where people can go and see how Montessori is working. As long as we don't know where the places are, we won't get the people. It's very simple. So they can have to see it and say, wow, this is what I want for my child. This is what I want to do. In these places, we have to have people which are qualified and then say, wait, I can do this. And this you can certify. Very simple, not with a huge paperwork, and then you have to have 5 years and whatever. But with videos showing actually what's going on in the classroom, how are they interacting there, and having probably also people simply going there, regional, because I don't like that people are traveling over the continent and traveling around, which makes it all again very expensive because the people have to pay a lot of money. And another option is simply all around the world. Now we will have a whole lot of retired teachers, a whole lot. In Germany, we have a whole lot of retired teachers, and some are even trainers, and they are willing to come to Thailand. They are willing to go to Africa. They are willing to simply sit there and say, hello, I'm here in USA, but I can no more travel, but I will help you to set up your school. Yeah, and they can give because they have experience. They know what's going on.
So mentoring is really important. Yeah,
mentoring is very, very important. Yeah, so that the people see what's going on. Get tips how to do this there. Today morning, I was actually we planned to go to Bangkok, and I was packing the whole stuff together, and then suddenly somebody called, the pastor called me from Chiang Mai, which is 800 kilometers north or 1,000 kilometers north from here where I am. And he heard that I have set up a kindergarten with a friend. Actually, it's not my kindergarten. It's a kindergarten of my friend, but I helped him how to set it up. I said, Andy, can you help me to set it up at the Myanmar border? We have a whole lot of housing areas there, a whole lot of groups there, and we're struggling. We would like to introduce Montessori to these children homes because they have a lot of refugees there which are coming over the border from Myanmar. Northern Thailand, and there are already some Montessori schools up there. And I said, well, yeah, of course, I would like to come up there. Simply talk to somebody who can secure that I can actually come up there, so that I have gas hole costs or whatever, or a cheap flight up there, and then with via jet, and then pick me up at the airport, and then we see how we can work this out. Because I believe if we are more flexible, we can get the whole things working. We can multiply Montessori all around the world. We only have to spread the word much better.
Yeah.
Best example is the IMC 2023, which takes place in August in Thailand, in Bangkok, and I hope to see you all there. But I doubt that many people are coming, and the reason is the price, because it's pretty expensive. Even the people here in Thailand probably cannot afford it to go there. $600 is too much. Yeah, there's a whole lot of earning. There's 2 months earning for a teacher.
That's a lot. Yeah.
They cannot.
Yeah.
And on the other hand side, then saying, okay, you make it cheaper for those teachers, then the funds are missing to run the conference. Somehow we have to find new ways too to
Yeah.
spread this whole thing. Your
Yeah.
way with online talks is a very, very good way, in my opinion, because this helps to spread the thing. If we can multiply this and have not only Monday talks, but probably other talks on the Mondays in between, for parents that they can meet, for sure you will have enough people coming there.
Yeah.
And you can spread the word.
Andy, it's been so wonderful hearing about your inspiring efforts to build Montessori from the ground up, both in Germany and in Thailand. So thank you so much for your time this evening. And is there, do you want to put a link in or your email in the chat for people to contact you if they'd like to be involved?
Yeah, I can find the chat here. It's Andy at isandy.com. My camera is in the keyboard. That's why you see my finger. Sorry. It's a bit strange being just
All right.
the big fingers grabbing. Andy at lisandy.com and HTTPS.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Andy, for your time. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks on 17th of April.
That's
And
Maria Montessori Education.
Good. I'll be interviewing Barry Hilson on the 17th.
Hope to see you too.
All right.
Thanks for being able to share what I would like here. If you have ideas how we can get this Montessori for all running, please get in touch with me, because we need ideas, and ideas which coming from all around the world, because it has to be a world effort. I have support from a little bit background and support, but no money support from Philip Montessori. He's saying, yes, I like it, what you're doing, and so on. And endorses me and so on. But we need some more people behind it for the movement to make really Montessori for all available.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you for your inspiring story, Andy. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.